Let's walk through how to make these super quick and easy leggings for babies and kids. I'm going to show you how to make the easiest option, which is this yoga waistband with no elastic, but there is an option in the pattern for elastic, as well as various other lengths. This is the full length version, but you have several different lengths from shorts all the way down to the full length. Now this pattern from Buttons and Blueprints is free at Sew PDF with code SEWBNBMJ YouTube. One quick note before we get started, I did not use a serger for the construction of these leggings. You can absolutely use a serger and the inside will be a more professional finish, but it isn't necessary. Knit fabrics don't fray, and so it is quite quick and easy to just sew it on a regular sewing machine. I'm going to jump right into the sewing steps, but if you need any help printing or assembling PDF patterns or cutting your fabric, there will be some links down in the description of this video that can help. So let's jump in. In the instructions for the Maya Jane leggings pattern, the first step is to fold up the bottom edge of the leg piece and hem it in place. If you're doing one of the bigger sizes, then you can actually skip this step at this point and hem the legs later, which is a slightly nicer finish. But when you're making the really little sizes, it is very difficult to hem that tiny little opening after it's already been sewn shut. So if you're doing a smaller size, I would definitely recommend doing it in the order that the pattern recommends. After cutting your fabric, the first step is to pin or clip the crotch seams, which are the two short curves up at the top of the leg pieces. So you want your two leg pieces right sides together, pin or clip those crotch curves, and then sew them. One thing to note is that if you're making the shorts version, then those crotch curves may actually be longer than the leg portion. So it's really important to pay attention to which end is the top on your pattern piece, because those crotch curves may actually be longer than the leg portion. Now that the crotch seams are sewn, the legs need to be folded to match each other along the raw edges. Pin or clip and then sew from the bottom of one leg all the way up through the crotch and then down to the bottom of the other leg. As I mentioned earlier, I'm using a stretch stitch on my sewing machine to sew this. If you need any help with settings for your sewing machine to sew stretchy fabrics, I've linked some videos down in the description. And if you have a serger that you're not sure how to use, then there are some videos linked in the description on how to use a serger as well. The next step is the waistband. You're going to fold it with the short ends together, pin or clip, and then sew that short end. Once the short ends are sewn together, it creates a loop, and you're going to fold that loop wrong sides together like this, and place a pin or a clip at the seam, and then place another one exactly opposite from the seam. Then you're going to fold your waistband so that the two existing pins or clips are matching up, and then place a pin or clip exactly halfway in between on both sides, essentially dividing your waistband into quarters. Next, you want to insert the waistband into the top of the leggings, with the folded edge facing down into the leggings so that at the top you've got all of the raw edges lined up. You're going to match up that back seam on the waistband with the back seam of the leggings. And the back is the taller portion. The crotch curve on the back of the leggings is taller than the crotch curve on the front of the leggings. Next, you want to take that front pin or clip on the waistband, the one that is opposite the seam, and match it up with the front seam of your leggings. For the side clips, you're going to want to stretch the waistband so that it matches the width of the side of the legging, and then place that pin or clip right in the middle. You can also divide the fabric evenly without stretching the waistband, like you can see that I'm doing here. If you're new to sewing, I would use more than 4 pins or clips. Just stretch in between those 4 and add another one in between so that you have a total of 8. Now, as you're sewing, you will need to stretch the waistband just enough to match the length of the waist of the leggings. You can see here that I'm just pulling gently just until it matches in length. Though it is optional, I do recommend top stitching the waistband seam down, especially if you haven't used a serger because you've got those raw edges on the inside. But you have to make sure that you use a stretch stitch to top stitch the waistband so that it still stretches while it's being worn. If you didn't already hem the legs, then here you're going to want to fold the bottom edge up by 1 inch and pin or clip it in place and then sew. For my hem, I chose to use a stretchy and decorative honeycomb stitch, but there are a number of different stitches that you can use when hemming stretchy fabric. And I've linked a video down in the description that goes over your different options for hemming stretchy fabrics. And let's give you a closer look at the inside of that honeycomb stitch, and this is why I like it so much. It tacks everything down nicely and leaves a fairly professional looking finish without requiring the serger. And that's it. Don't forget to check the description of this video for that code that makes the pattern free, as well as I've linked some other YouTube videos that will be helpful if you haven't sewed with knits much or haven't used PDF patterns much. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have fun making these leggings.